Hello there, and welcome to In the Bag 2020, I guess. So, I made an In the Bag disc golf video a few months back, and I said that I wanted to get a new bag and a bunch of new discs in that video, which I definitely will link up there or up there somewhere. I'll link that old video, and I definitely recommend that you go watch it because I am not going to go over all the discs as in much detail, at least the old ones that I already had at the time. Anyway, I have a new bag here, and I'm going to show you all the new discs. I'm not going to go into super detail about all the ones that I already had before. I guess we might as well just get started. We can actually fit almost all of my discs into this bag now. So we'll start with the only ones that we don't want in our bag because they would get lost. I talked about these in the previous video. So this is a Discraft Ace Race prototype, and I got this from a tournament that my friend's brother did for a project at school, and yeah, you can learn more about that in the other video. Pretty cool. I never throw it. Don't even know what it flies like, but it just sits on my shelf up there. Next is another tournament disc that I don't dare to throw. Is from the Farringer Ranch Open Fall Classic here in Colorado. Yeah, I don't throw this at all either because I don't want to lose it, and it's pretty cool, and that just sits on my shelf up there too. Both of those you can go watch the old video and learn more about. First of all, I guess we can talk about this new bag, huh? So, you can open it up and there's nice like Velcro kind of things to keep those flaps open. This is a Innova Explorer, I believe. I don't know, it's a new bag that they just recently came out with, and I got it for my birthday, which is pretty cool. I got my little towel here. There's kind of a pouch in front. I have the rule book for the PDGA in here, just in case there's any altercations, I guess. And then a couple of side pockets. Here, I'll show all four of my minis. I finally got someone to take away one of them, but you can hear about some of these in that old video. These just came with the bag, and then this was also in the old video. So I keep my minis in this little side pocket here. And then there's another pocket down here. I just like to keep my phone and wallet in sometimes, and a little water bottle holder thing. And then two nice pockets. I've got this whole pocket down here for all my drivers and just basically anything that's not a putter, even though I have some putters down there actually. So I guess we just get right into it with the putters. This one I showed in the old video. It's a Discraft Soft APX. It used to be kind of my main putter. Still is. We'll talk about that later. But nice and soft and flexible. This was up in the garage, so it's cold and not as flexible as it sometimes is. Usually you can like fold it in half, but a little tough right now. I did just get a new putter that I am hoping I like better. I want something that's heavier than this, but we'll see. Anyway, so this is the new one. This is a Gateway Wizard that was a limited edition or limited kind of run where, if you don't know, there's a bunch of fires in Australia, and this little campaign that they did, all the proceeds are going to help the efforts to control the fires and help the wildlife and everything like that. So it's got a cute little sad koala on it, and I'm guessing that's the charity and the shape of Australia. I haven't tried it out yet, actually. It's got less flex than I was hoping. I was hoping it would be almost as flexible as that other disc that I have, but it's still soft, and apparently this Gateway Wizard is one of the best putters out there that people say, so we'll definitely be excited to try it out. I'm a little disappointed that I got like the gray beige color, but it's still cool. So there's that. Next was another one that I talked about in my video, the Dynamic Disc Warden, or we call it the Clarke because that was its previous owner's name, I guess. Still one of my favorite putters. It's still kind of best for throwing, but every now and then I'll throw it into the change as well. I actually then wanted something that was a little bit more purpose-built as a throwing putter, so I got this. This is my AVR X3. It's actually really stiff. You can't even bend it pretty much at all, but I kind of like it. It's a good putter for just throwing pretty straight. Sometimes it has more fade or acts more overstable than you would expect, but either way, I really like it. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a really good throwing putter. I actually do have something else that I use if I'm throwing on a hill and I'm really worried about it rolling down. Just because it's so stiff and kind of slippery, it's gonna go down the hill pretty easily. Either way, very cool, I think. I'd recommend it. This is where we kind of get some fun stuff. So, back in the other video I talked about an AVR that I never used. It was just a white AVR that I got in my starter pack. I wanted to try to get into some disc dyeing, so this was my first effort at that. Actually, we might be able to fix right now. It's supposed to say, oh, never mind. Oh yeah, it's supposed to say AVR because it's an AVR, get it? But in reality, says backwards R V A. I didn't think about it too much, and it also doesn't look the best, but it was still fun to do. It's DX plastic, so it also didn't dye very well. But either way, it was a fun introduction into the world of disc dyeing. Now, in my adventures of disc dyeing, I also tried out just doodling on discs. So I took a couple of discs that I never used and doodled on them, and all of a sudden I started using them again. Part of that also might be because I have a bigger bag and can hold more discs and try out more things. But this is that Hydra that was in the old video. Took off that stamp as well and drew this myself. I probably could have used stencils or just anything to help it come out a little bit cleaner, but ironically I didn't like this disc, and now I'm starting to use it as a throwing putter if I want to go on a hill, because it's got a little more flex than that AVR X3 has, and it's a softer plastic, so I feel like it's not going to roll down a hill as badly. Actually, I don't mind it. It's a good throwing putter, and if I ever come across needing to throw across water, I could use this as well because it apparently floats in water. So there's that, the Innova Hydra, the Doodle Shark. One of my favorites. I just think it's super cute and super cool. Again, this was one that I didn't throw very much, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to take off the stamp and doodle on it for fun. And I liked how it came out, and I ended up throwing it as well, and it's awesome actually. It's just really nice and straight. If I feel like my rock is maybe like too fast, like if I want something a little bit more with a little bit more speed than throwing putter, I'll throw this and it goes straight. I don't know why when you doodle on a disc you decide to start using it. Either way, I like it and I think it's very fun. Next is the Wolf. I talked about this in my other video. I originally got it as a Heiser bomb disc, but as you can see, it is very understable. -4 means it's gonna flip right really quickly. I actually have started to use it a little bit more, especially for kind of longer, I guess, upshots, I guess you'd call it. But just something that I don't want to use a driver for. I want some more control. I can just put a nice little bit of ante on this, and it actually ends up going really far. And also, you can shape your shots really well with this as well, just because it's very predictable. So actually, I recommend a Wolf if you're looking for a good understable mid-range. This is the rock that I had showed in my previous video. I have that rock 3 now, so I don't use this one as much, but it actually feels like it has a lot of fade. Unlike the rock 3, I use this for a lot of Heiser shots actually, or just kind of shot shaping as well, of trying to get something that banks really hard right at the very end or drops from somewhere high and then goes low. Either way, it's a really reliable disc. I definitely recommend rocks for beginners, like I said in my previous video. And then there's the Rock 3 that I absolutely love. It just goes perfectly straight. Not much else to really say about it. It's got an amazing graphic on it. Very cool. You can see people playing disc golf down there. Next was a disc that I got to fill up my bag a little bit, because when you go from the tiny little satchel bag that I had to a big backpack like I have now, all your discs fall over if you don't have enough to fill it up. So I went to Fly Green and bought 3 discs. This was one of them. It was a special edition for Halloween. It is a Rock X3 actually. So I have my Rock 3, and now a Rock X3. And the only difference is this is more overstable. So I kind of use it for some hyzer shots or just anything where I want to get more left. Still very reliable, very cool. Look at that. I mean, even though it's not Halloween anymore, you can still appreciate a really sick pumpkin. So next is the Leopard that I talked about in the previous video as well. I don't throw it a ton. Not really much to say about it. And then the Leopard 3 that I actually use, this I actually feel like I should use more. It has a lot of control and you can really get it to go where you need to go, and it's great to learn on as well, just because like the Rock, it's kind of punishing where if you mess up, it's going to let you know that you messed up. It's not going to try to correct for you, and it's very reliable in that way. Now we have an Explorer. The Explorer is very reliable, very stable and straight, and I don't know, it's kind of a perfect disc. It was voted Disc of the Year at one point just because of how consistent it is. It's always going to finish left, and it goes straight pretty much all the time. You can rip it really far if you have the power. Otherwise, it's just got a really cool graphic on it. So next is probably one of my newest discs. This is a West Side Fortress. Look at that. Isn't that cool? This also is actually started to become one of my favorites. It just goes straight, just perfectly straight all the time. And it's amazing in that way. So I've been using it kind of like a main driver right now just because of how reliable it is. It's kind of a small brand, actually. I wanted something that was kind of unique like this, so I got it for Christmas, and I really like it, and I actually really recommend it if you want something that just goes perfectly straight. So next is my Wraith, which I got also to kind of fill my bag, but also to try out the Wraith, which I'm not sure about it. I was hoping it was more understable. It's only -1, and it's just DX plastic, and so it's already gotten beat up along the edges a little bit. I'm not sure about it yet, but I have been able to get it pretty far. I still recommend it. I think that it just takes some learning, I think, and I still need to learn it, and I have another like 5 discs that I want to learn and try to throw, so it's kind of tough to learn them all at the same time. So next is my absolute newest disc. This is a Prodigy D4. I wanted an understable disc because that Wraith wasn't as understable as I wanted it to be. So I went to the disc shop, and this is pre-owned. I think someone dyed this themselves. I don't think that actually came like this. You can also see there's a bunch of kind of residue on the back. So I think someone actually did this artwork, I guess, themselves, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I actually have thrown it a few times already, and I really like it. It's from Prodigy, which is a company that I haven't really tried out very much, which was another reason I wanted to get it. Also, it was super cheap. It was like $9 for a really nice plastic. It's kind of flexible, feels good in the hands. I just realized it's pretty light, 165. I don't know, I guess we'll still have to kind of learn about this disc. It is understable and kind of exactly what I was looking for. So maybe I'll pick up another one at some point, but for right now, this works great and it's cool and unique. So now we have a disc that I dyed myself. This was my second attempt at dyeing a disc, and it turned out a little bit better. So this is a Blaze from Gateway Disc. I dyed the red parts here. I was hoping to kind of get it to move along with the graphic a little bit better, but I still think it turned out alright. Not exactly what I wanted, but still kind of cool. This is an overstable driver that I got just to fill up my bag, actually, and I really like it. Pretty consistent. Yeah, not really much else to say about it other than that it's cool. And so actually at the same time I was dyeing that disc, I was dyeing this one. So this is the, if you don't know, it's the Czech Flag. And what's underneath here is a Discraft ESP Force, which is another overstable driver that I didn't really need. You know, it's like 13, 12 speed or something like that. So I only really use it on like really long and straight shots where I need something that goes really far. It said checkmate under here, and so I just wanted to kind of commemorate that because I was going to die over it and I couldn't get the marker off. So I wanted, you can actually still kind of see that mate there, M8, and then check is somewhere over here. I wanted something that if you could still read that, it would make sense. The dyeing didn't turn out the best. You get the idea of it, but you can see there's a lot of white spots and places where it just didn't dye as well. So again, I'm learning about disc dyeing. If you have any tips in the comments, by the way, let me know. This actually looks really cool when you throw it. When you throw it, it ends up looking really wobbly and weird, and this white side kind of comes up out of nowhere, and I don't know, it's tough to describe, but it's really cool the way that it looks when it flies. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it looks really cool when it flies. We're already at the end. I went through this kind of quick, but a lot of the discs that I didn't mention in the old videos are newer, so they don't really have as much story behind it. Anyway, here's the boss that I showed in that other video as well. This is super understable by now. It's gotten beat in so badly. You can kind of see there and see how scratched up and worn it all is. So this is basically just reserved for rollers because all it ever wants to do is flip onto its side. So I keep it in my bag just for that. Eventually it's probably going to have to be retired because soon it will be unusable. For now, it's a good utility disc, I guess, if I want something super understable. Either way, you can go check out my other video. I didn't really recommend it anyway, unless you just have amazing form and want something to rip, then this might be for you. So yeah, this video was quicker than the last one, at least I'm gonna guess so, just because I don't really have as many new stories about anything like that. So definitely go check out the old video if you haven't already, which you should have already. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe. If you want me to do more disc golf kind of content, let me know. I'll gladly do it. I actually really like the sport and want to try to do more content like this for the channel. In the summer, I'm hoping that I can get a camcorder and actually be able to record playing disc golf a little bit better than I did the past summer on my phone, where you zoomed in, there's like this tiny little thing here. But so yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.